Hello guys, welcome to Photoshop tutorials. Subscribe to our channel for regular updates. In this tutorial we are going to learn about how to make a picture to pop up, like how some famous Instagram photographers do. So let's get into it. The source files are given as a link in the description below. Select the background layer and click on Ctrl+Command+J to duplicate a layer. At first let's crop the picture by clicking on C. And you can see the 16:9 option on the top menu. Click Enter to crop. Now click on Ctrl+Command+Shift+A to open Camera Raw, so we have to perform some basic exposure adjustments. The main thing you have to do in Camera Raw is to cut the shadows and decrease the highlights to bring down all the overexposed areas. I'm decreasing the exposure a bit since the skin is exposed. The main objective of adjusting the basic settings is to make the picture look like an even light portrait. So the next step is to play with the colors. By moving on to the Hsl Adjustments, adjust the hues. You can bring up some color changes by adjusting the hues. I'm concentrating mainly on the blues and the greens. Please see that the skin color doesn't change. Okay, this is fine for me, let me hit on OK. Click on Ctrl+Command+J to duplicate a layer. I've rotated the image using the rotation tool, so that would be easy for me to work on with my hand flow. You can do that by clicking on R. To get back to normal position, click on Escape. Let's do some basic skin cleanup. Right-click on the healing tool and select the healing brush tool. Open a new layer. See that the sample settings must be current and below. Select a clean area by holding Alt and then start patching. Let's first remove the hair on her forehead. Let's remove all the single hair from her face. And now some dark spots also. Okay guys, we've cleaned up the skin. Now let's tone her skin. Open new selective color adjustment layer and adjust the reds and yellows, which play a major role on skin color. Let's keep like kind of yellowish red. I hope this is fine for me. Let's rename this layer as Tone. Now let's do some local dodge and burn. Open a new layer. Click on Shift F5. On the dialog box, select Contents option and click on 50% gray. Blending mode normal and opacity 100%. Hit on OK. Let's rename this layer as Local Dodge and Burn. Turn the gray layer blending mode to soft light. Select the brush tool. Brush setting opacity 100%. Flow 1% or changeable accordingly. Masking colors black and white. Now select white and start dodging the subject. Only highlight the areas where you see lights on the subject. A tip for the beginners. If you're in the starting stage of learning to dodge and burn, you can use 2 gray layers, one for dodge and one for burn. If you're a pro, then you can go with a single layer. See that you cover all the areas in a subject. The more time you take, the more effective output you will get. Okay, let me speed up this process. Once you're done with the dodge, select black and start burning. Burn only the areas where you see shadows. Okay guys, we are done with the local dodge and burn. Now let's move on to separation of the subject from the background. Open a new level adjustment layer. Increase shadows a bit. Now select the brush tool and start brushing out the subject from the dark using a layer mask. Brush setting opacity 100%. Flow 1% or changeable accordingly. Masking colors black and white. Okay, we are done with this step. Let's try make the leaves and the sky at the background a bit more kind of something dreamy like that. Okay, let's see. Open a new selective colors adjustment layer. Going to cyans to change the sky color. This is fine for the sky, I guess. Now let's adjust the reds and yellows for the leaves. We will stick up with this orangish color. Okay, clicking on the layer mask and brushing out the subject since her hair has also turned out to be orangish. Purple is also kind of good. I haven't brushed this layer properly, so let's do it now. Okay, we are done with this, let's move on to next. Now let's do some global dodge and burn. This effect will create more depth on the subject. Open a new curves adjustment layer and pull the curve down a bit to increase the shadows. Click on Ctrl or Command I to invert the layer mask. Select the brush tool, brush setting, opacity 100%, flow 1% or changeable accordingly. And start burning the subject. Burn only the areas where you see shadows on the subject. Once you're done, open a new curves adjustment layer and pull the curve up a bit to increase highlights. Click on Ctrl or Command I to invert the layer mask. Select the brush tool. Brush setting, opacity 100%, flow 1% or changeable accordingly. Start dodging the subject. Dodge only the areas where you see highlights on the subject. Okay, we've come to the end of global dodge and burn. Now let's adjust the eye color. Open a new level adjustment layer. Let's darken the eye by increasing the shadows. This is fine, I guess. Let's add some blush to the subject. Open a new layer and change the blending mode to soft light. Select the brush tool and choose red color from the color palette. Brush setting, opacity 100%, flow 1% are changeable accordingly. Start brushing on the nose and on the cheeks gently. If overdone, decrease the opacity to look natural. This is fine, I guess. Separation of the subject from the background for the second time. Open a new brightness and contrast adjustment layer. Decrease the exposure a bit. Now select the brush tool and start brushing out the subject from the dark using a layer mask. Okay, we are done with this step. So now we are done with this process. Let's boost up the image with Camera Raw. Select the topmost layer on the layer column. Click on Ctrl, Shift, Alt, E to merge all the layers together and form a layer. Now select on the merged layer and click on Ctrl, Shift, A to open Camera Raw. I'm just trying to make the image look brighter using the basic settings. Moving on curves. Increase the highlights and lights to brighten up the image. Decrease the shadows and darks to form a contrast feel. Let's jump on to split toning. First, let's see which tone matches our image. I hope kind of reddish blue will do good. Okay, let's fix this. Now let's use the Radial Filter and make the image look brighter. Form a circle over the subject. I'm decreasing the sharpness from the background, so the subject will be getting a depth feel. Let's decrease the exposure a bit. Once done, hit on OK. We've come to the end of this tutorial. If you have any doubts, you can ask them on the comments section below. Hope this tutorial was useful. Hit on the like button if you liked this video, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon for regular updates.